Hello everyone, welcome to Liberal Tarot. I'm Sherry and I'm a blue dot in a red state utilizing Tarot to help us navigate these very interesting and trying times we've got going on here in the United States. So welcome, and speaking of welcome to day 100. We have made it 100 days of Trump. At least I'm hoping we do. I'm recording this on Monday. It's coming out Tuesday. So hopefully we're still here. I'm going to assume we are. So 100 days of Trump. And we have, let's just look at let's look at where we're at. He's underwater in pollings. He's losing MAGA support. The Oval Office is a damn reality TV show. You know, he's got a rhythm to his day. You know, we got to have the executive orders that he signs. And then there's, always the Celebrity Apprentice, White House, cabinet edition where, they go around saying their things that they've done, to kiss the ring. The public protests are growing, especially in rural America. And the reason it's important to know that they're really growing in rural America is that's where MAGA lives. Tesla's tanking. I'm not going to say that that's bad news, that they're down like 71%, but you know what? We can do better. Okay. So worldwide down. I like that. Courts are telling him no. The Wall Street Journal is saying he needs to be impeached. The fund managers are saying he's insane. And just, in this last, week, we are now at the arresting judges. I can't say deporting. You can't deport U.S. citizens, but you can illegally remove them from the country, apparently. So we're removing U.S. citizens from the country. And, investigating ActBlue. We're at that part of this fascist takeover of our country. Why would you want the opposing party to be able to, fundraise? So, that's where we are in 100 days. So what I want to look at is... I do want to look specifically into the judge that was arrested, what's going to happen there. It was illegal as hell is what they, arresting her. They had no basis for that, no matter what they say on Fox. That no matter what Pam Bondi says. I also want to look at the U.S. citizens. It was a 2-year-old that was being reported. I think some of those other kids that were removed were also U.S. citizens. The mother was removed, and so they sent the kids with the mom to Cuba was, I think, one of the places that they went. Okay. And then ActBlue, investigating ActBlue, because that is the major fundraising platform. If you have donated to any Democratic candidate, you've donated through ActBlue. So I just kind of want to look at each one of those. It's kind of going to be a hodgepodge today of welcome to day 100, and let's just look at what we've got going on here. So I think the first thing I wanted to look at is that judge that was arrested in where was that? So what's going to happen in that case with the judge? She was already released on bond. I think immediately after she was arrested, they had protests happening right there at the federal courts. Here, let me find out her name here real quick. Let me pause this. Okay, I was looking up that federal judge's name here real quick. It was Wisconsin Judge Hannah Dugan. Okay, so Judge Dugan. I want to see just kind of a base reading of what's going to happen with that and where that is going. So base reading with this judge that was arrested. Okay, as always, this is for entertainment purposes only. Okay, the judge. New beginnings. So something that is setting, a course. And honestly, this arresting judges, unless it's like for blatant corruption and, like it's gone through the grand jury and like there's steps that you have to take in order to arrest, a judge. They took none of those steps. Okay. And they were, and you can read about that, they needed to have a grand jury. They need, what she did was completely legal. These, supposed ICE agents had an administrative warrant, not a judicial warrant. So everything that she did, she was completely in line with what was legally acceptable in her courtroom. So this fool card, I'm interested, and it could just be they were fools in thinking that they could arrest her. Okay. And karma. Okay. So sometimes the cards actually mean like their literal face value, and sometimes it's just the symbolism. They were fools. Okay. They were fools thinking that they could do this. This is the judgment card, what goes around, or the wheel of fortune, karma, what goes around comes around. So yeah, this is not Knight of Wands. This is, a practical approach going forward, a lot of messaging. And they know anytime you got Pam Bondi out there, which is every day, she doesn't have a legal basis. And you notice there's nothing here legal. It's all their opinion. You've got, the messaging. This will make Trump look good. We arrested a judge. Pam Bondi, she moved up in the, in her rankings there of Celebrity Apprentice. At the base is the judge. But this, the foundation, and this could be the judge herself, is the foundation of this. This is about her. And it's just vague illusions. I mean, it makes for a great news story. It gives Fox something to, crap to peddle to, MAGA there. I mean, there's nothing to it. It's lies. And, the Page of Cups, pages are messengers. And I'm just seeing like these two cards together, as I said, is just, meat for MAGA. It's messaging. It's just something for MAGA to eat up. This was a rogue judge, and we didn't like what she was doing. She wasn't upholding the law. They're just spinning all kinds of lies about this. But there's nothing here saying that, it's illusions. There's no legal basis here for them to arrest her. So where's it gonna, where's that even gonna go? I don't even know, where's this even gonna go from here? So we know that, MAGA's got their, or, Pam Bondi there, she's got her, little talking points that she's got. But what else is gonna actually happen? Shining a light into the righteousness, a righteous path, finding, this is literally finding a righteous path is that card. And hands being tied. So they're trying to really, the judges here are trying to uphold the law, and the Trump administration doesn't want them to do it. It's like they're wanting to tie their hands. It comes to an end. Big time major end. The death card and the tower card, these are some major energy cards. Okay, just on face value, the death card just means transformation. Something comes to an end so something can begin. The tower card, I get this card so just consistently. And this is something comes to an end. We got to get rid of the rot, so that we can move forward with what it is we actually want. So yeah, I think that this is not going to go well for the Trump administration at all. I never get the Tower card as something. Their hands are going to be tied with this. And yeah, their hands are going to be tied. This is not going to go well. Messaging and bringing something to light. I almost wonder if this isn't going to be one of the judge that's going to be hearing this case isn't going to say, it's like bringing light to the situation. Like what are they going to say? What are they going to file? And it's like we learn a lot about just how incompetent and about how there's no legal basis for what this Department of Justice is doing. This Justice Department is doing. It's like they say all kinds of things, and the judges are like, that's not actually illegal. There's no legal basis for what you're doing. How you feel is not law. Okay, and that's kind of the feeling I'm getting with this. Let me just make sure here. This King of Wands, and this could be that, what's his name? It's like a deputy, whatever, underneath Pam there, who is the one actually putting it all out on the table, making stuff. If this is the Trump side, it's like we're making things up. We're just, we're going to put it all out there, the magician, illusions, sorry, magician, illusions, not telling the truth, and Page of Swords. They don't have a legal standing on this. I don't see this case really going anywhere. I think this was more for PR, is the feeling I'm getting for that. It was more about PR for the Trump administration. And also to put some of these judges, on notice, you can't tell us what to do. And the judges are going to be like, no, actually, we can. So I am curious about the Supreme Court. Are they going to, is Chief Justice Roberts going to issue any kind of statement like, he did before whenever they were talking about impeaching judges? Now we're just going to, arrest them. So is there going to be anything coming out from the Supreme Court? I'll just do 3 cards on that. Supreme Court. That messaging card comes up again. So yeah, there may be Chief Justice Roberts like, this isn't how we do things. The government is going to prevail over the people. And when I say the government, I mean like the of the people, for the people, by the people. The government prevail over the orange beast with this, and yeah, being left out in the. They are not. The Trump administration is not faithfully executing their oath of office, to say the least. So I think that there's going to be, something, strongly worded message is going to be coming out from Chief Justice Roberts on this, that this is not how we do things. Okay. And other than that, it's not going to go anywhere with that judge. I mean, I just don't see that going anywhere, with that judge. So that's good to know. As I said, it's more for that PR stuff. Pam Bondi's got to make herself look good there for Celebrity Apprentice. So the next thing I want to look at, we are now to the deporting U.S. citizens. And as I said, it's not deporting. It's like basically kidnapping and human trafficking. We are now illegally removing U.S. citizens. Now, they're starting with children, and that the children were with their mother, who was deported. So, let's see here. What kind of blowback will there be on illegally removing U.S. citizens? The Hermit card. The Hermit card is one of, it should, in its more higher vibration, is like going within, finding that, that strength within, finding that light within, and walking a just path. I'm getting this feeling of, it's kind of like, if you're going to start illegally removing U.S. citizens, you're doing this on your own. This is like, find me the law that allows me to do what I want, because this is definitely not for a righteous cause. I mean, they think it is, but it's not. It's against our Constitution. Okay, so that's interesting. I'm getting this like, you're going to walk that path alone. Okay, is what you're going to do, because there is no law that supports what you're doing. The government. Okay, and these are. With the Hierophant, these are just those institutions of society. And it's also, I always feel like it's not just the institution, but it's the spirit of the institution. And they are violating that in so many ways. So it's like, you're doing this on your own, because there's nothing in the spirit of our institutions that say that illegally removing a 2-year-old from this country is who we are as a country. Okay? That's not who we are. I mean, it's who Trump is, and it just shows you how, absolutely disgusting MAGA is, because they're cheering this, okay? So if you're MAGA and you're cheering a 2-year-old being illegally removed from this country, you might want to check in on your life just a little bit, okay? To see, like, where did you go wrong that you think that is okay? Things beneath the surface, this is like, and once again, this is like really, both of these cards are like digging in there, like getting beneath the surface, going underneath. So I'm wondering, like, there's going to be more to come for this. Like, there's more answers out there that we're just not seeing. So that'll be interesting whenever that goes to court, because I'm pretty sure that's going to go to court. Like, what are they going to say about this? How are they going to justify what they've done? Because they don't do it very well. And this should be a card of rejoicing. Instead, this is a card of abuse and indulgence and excess. So they're just having a party in the White House, doing whatever they want, and it's a big abuse of power. Okay, and that we're going to start. This is like those. This is stuff happening, you know, like behind the scenes, like things we don't know about, but we're going to know about. Okay. This is stuff that's coming in. Like we're going to start finding out more of but wait, there's more. That's what that is. Be patient. Okay. This is one of, it should be in balance, but it's not. Not at all. And drunk on power. It's basically, they did this because they could. So what's going to happen in the courts with this? What's going to happen with this? And the justice card. So, you know, courts are going to have a more practical approach to this. They're not happy at all with what they're seeing. So I'm surprised that I haven't had, you know, some notifications, news notifications on this coming up. Yeah, this is not what we do as a country. A more balanced approach. So yeah, the courts are not gonna uphold any of this. And I mean, thank God they didn't go to a prison. You know, hopefully. So are these people gonna be returned? And I'm talking like the I believe it was it was like mothers that were not documented, and you know, they have documented, or they have, you know, their husbands were U.S. citizens, or at least one of them was, and the kids were deported. You know, the U.S. citizen children were sent, illegally removed from the country too, but they weren't sent to prison. So let's see here. Will they be returned? As far as returning, the children, because the pages are going to be younger people, Mad King Don there, it's almost like, no, he's saying no, even the kids, he doesn't want the kids returned even. And it's like, you know, if Papa wants to be with them, he can go to them, but they're not, he does not want them back in the country. Well, I think the courts will have something to say as to whether or not you keep U.S. citizens out of the country, especially a 2-year-old. So that's where that is. It's looking like, you know, the courts are going to, you know, try to turn that around. So I'm just not seeing anything more with that. ActBlue. I want to know where, because they're being investigated. And we know that they are not, you know, they're very capable of, you know, doctoring evidence. You know, you had Trump there with the tattoos, you know, saying that, oh, this is the proof that Abreu Garcia was a gang member, you know. And so what's going to happen with ActBlue? Anything. Okay, and I feel like this is just another headline. Yeah, this is like they thought this would be a good idea. The justice card, I mean, very quickly, it comes to an end. The courts are very quickly getting fed up with these cases. That's what it's like. I get this feeling of like the court's going, again, you know, you're still doing this again. And money, and that's what, you know, ActBlue is. It's the foundation. It's the foundation of this reading is the Ace of Pentacles. This is going to be ActBlue, which is the fundraising platform for the Democratic Party. Everything's fine. Like, this is happy home. Everything is in order. And they're going to side. The courts are going to side with the Democrats on ActBlue. So, yeah, I don't see that really going anywhere. And let's just ask, you know, so with ActBlue, two sides come together in the courts. The courts are like, stop it. The platform is like, everything's fine. They don't find anything illegal there. I mean, not that I was expecting that. So, yeah, the courts are busy. And thankfully, the courts are holding. So, I have on here for questions, you know, will Trump be stopped in any of this? So, will Trump be stopped in any of this? And I'll just do 3 cards. Is he going to be stopped? He's almost done. Okay, you saw me shuffle. This is the last card in the tarot, in the major arcana, and it signifies a journey. If you're familiar with Joseph Campbell and A Hero's Journey, that's what this is. This is just saying, like, you've completed your journey. You have, you've done all that you are meant to do. Okay, so that's what this card is. He is completing his journey. And I was asking, will he be stopped? Well, he's done. And how is he done? King of Pentacles. I'm wondering if this isn't Congress, because Congress holds the purse. Congress holds the money. Coming together with the Democrats. I think that Congress is going to put a stop to this. And if you read if you look at my reading, All Roads Lead to the Tower card, this is kind of some of that same stuff that I've been getting, is that it's Congress that comes together. It's and the reason I'm saying Congress right here is King of Pentacles, is Congress holds the purse, the money, and the Democrats are in the minority right now. So it only takes a handful of them coming together and it's put to a stop. So I guess we'll wait and see what happens with with that. That's interesting that is what comes up here. Let's see, because I get some combination of this actually anytime I ask. So very consistent there. Win, and I hate time and tarot. Win. The Justice card. So just like this is like. These are major arcanas. These are like those definitely, even though the kings and queens aren't necessarily major arcanas, they're definitely, in those higher ranking of the minor arcana. So the Justice card, win, coming to an end, 5 weeks, 5 months. Let's go with 5 weeks. I like that answer better. And the Tower card, I don't even know what else to say. I was asking when, let's see, 11 is the Justice card. So 11, it could be, like 11 weeks, 5 weeks. And then the Tower card, I have to do my Roman numerals here, which is 10 and 5 and 1. So 16, 11, 16, so 7. This breaks down to a 7. This is a 5. And then 11 is 2 months. I'm going to say probably within the next couple of months. That would be a safe. I was doing numerology to kind of add up some of this stuff. But what this is soon. You get because I was asking when is he stopped, and you get, or how is he stopped? Congress steps in, and then when, it's like the Justice card. Okay. So there could be something with Congress and, like the Supreme Court puts a stop to this, and the Tower card. I have a feeling I'm going to be linking that Tower card a lot. So I may put like another reading for you to watch, but I'm going to probably just keep that staple all tower roads lead to the Tower card up there, because that comes up here again. So yeah, welcome to day 100. And just kind of a hodgepodge there of things that I was looking at. As far as the judge being arrested, that's not going to go anywhere. Okay. I mean, she's going to appear in court. They're going to throw it out because there was I'm interested in that just because of the filings and just to see what the Justice Department is going to say. Is it going to be a lot of that same, run around and, nonsense that they've been doing in the other cases? I looked at not deporting, illegally kidnapping and removing the U.S. citizens. And yeah, Trump's doing that just because he can. And if you notice, it's like, let's normalize this. Like, we're going to normalize deporting immigrants. We're going to say that they're gang members, but they're really not. So, we have to say, we're defending the opposition, the resistance. They think is like, we're going to make them have to defend, the rights of gang members. It's like, no, we're not defending the rights of gang members. We're defending due process. Okay. It's up for the courts to decide, the rest of that. Due process. That's what we're saying. So I'm sure those cases have been filed. Like you're illegally kidnapping and removing children from the United States. So, they're doing this to classes of people that can't speak for themselves, that can't speak up. Those men that were sent to El Salvador, they can't speak for themselves. These children, they can't speak for themselves. And so that's how they're trying to normalize this. So before it gets to, it's going to be stopped before there's too much more normalization. And then ActBlue, I don't see that they have anything there. I mean, that's going to go nowhere. If they have anything, it might be like a procedural something, but I don't see that going anywhere. The big thing is, how is Trump gonna, how's he gonna be stopped? And I get, once again, Congress and the courts. So I don't know if I kind of think that's the Supreme Court. So, yeah, I will put all roads lead to the tower card is going to be there, and subscribe. Especially if this is your first reading, check out that tower card reading. That was kind of, I really think that is going to be the one that I reference a lot. So we will see what happens. I will keep doing these readings, and I will keep checking in with that, and see how far along that road we are as we are reaching that tower card. So we will get through this. Just take a deep breath and know that, it's going to be what it's going to be. And I will keep doing these readings, and, fingers crossed we all get through this. Just crazy time. Most stupidest timeline ever. Anyway, thank you for joining me. I really do appreciate it. I'll have, another video here, probably, all roads lead to the tower card, and subscribe. So thank you very much for joining me, and I will catch you on the next reading. Have a good day.